Yeah, yeah. All right, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Ugh. Welcome to Granblue Radio number 210. This is Vibrating Sheep, along with the first officer and crewmate.
It's always DJ. Hello.
It's not always DJ. Sometimes it's not DJ. Sometimes I drag in random bystanders from our bystanders bystanders from our Discord and just pull people in.
Also true, that did happen a couple weeks ago.
All right, so we are just done with the most exhausting event in GBF. We're waiting for another. It's going to be 10 hours before we know when the next one of these is. My hope is that now that Dread Barrage exists, we are not going to have the pattern that we've had for the last few years of 3 week break and then unite and fight again.
Oh yeah, from January to February.
Yeah, yeah. I'm really hopeful that we'll just get a Dread Barrage or we'll get nothing at all.
And they can't do anything in March because that will scare new people.
You say that, but I
They
mean,
shouldn't. They shouldn't do it in March.
you also say that, but it's like, all right, they gave the Kimetsu no Yaiba newbies what, a month, so yeah, okay, April makes sense.
Well, we also in that in that month we kind of had to do Guild Wars, but otherwise we'd be out of six a year.
Yeah, probably, but we'll see what happens. I'm hoping for Dread Barrage next month refined so that it's well. I mean, we already didn't really grind Dread Barrage that much. We would basically like do our two bosses a day, and then be like, well, if somebody else needs help, let us know. But otherwise, we're just gonna peace.
I mean, my favorite thing with Dread Barrage is A, that, B, I can get weapons that are not just two each.
You know what the greatest thing for next Dread Barrage is going to be?
What's that?
My star character coming out and just like cringing and cowering her way to victory for you somehow.
Oh, so you mean it's not Greya?
It's no longer Greya. It's our Vikala. She's just gonna be like no, and then the thing will die.
Yeah, mine's saying Diablo though.
Then again, and by that I mean our Vikala actually does have a CA animation, so it'll actually be her in the white hair. It'll be fine.
I mean, you kind of have to, even with if there's another version of a character that actually does attack. You know.
I know. It's still funny. I just wish that she would come out and just be given the no, can't do this. Anyway, that's all there is to say about Unite and Fight. Like I said, in 10 hours we'll find out when the next one is and what element it is. Until then, we're not going to think about it. We've got the rerun of Joy coming up. I recommend this one just because Joy is a precious child.
Yeah, that's in 26 hours from now.
Um, there's, I mean, so this is something that's mildly interesting, but only to like people like me. I don't have anything to do with Arca points anymore. What'll I do? If I buy 30,000 Arca points from this, it doesn't go anywhere. I So here's the thing. Like this is I guess what happens and what is intended once you're at Evoker Bingo is I guess you put it into a New World Foundation weapon? Cuz like I'm looking at it right, I've got I do have Kiss of the Devil. And it's like, all right, if I want to uncap Kiss of the Devil, I need Fire Astras. So I guess this is where my points go from now on, because I've bought all the New World quartz, and then I'm just gonna have to farm Veritasuses for a while.
I'm speculating that if we get 5 star evokers, we're gonna need more stuff from Arcarum, both versions of Arcarum. So I might as well just buy things in the shop.
Right, but for me, it's just like, all right. So this is my situation. I got, we can buy 30,000 points every time there's a rerun, right? I have 3,000 point Arca points right now this second, and things that I can spend them on are just Astras, I guess. So um, I guess to uncap New World Foundation, and then I have one more New World quartz to buy. That's it. That's the list. So anyway, I'm just
We'll see
curious
what
what'll
we'll
happen
see.
from there.
We'll just see what happens from here.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't call myself anywhere near done with Sandbox, but I'm just running low on immediately obtainable goals or even like reasonably obtainable goals in this thing.
Yeah, I'm almost done with most of my missions as well.
hmm So I do wonder what the pace of updating Sandbox is going to be. It,
Other than putting another weapon slot.
hmm Cause yeah, I mean, I've just been doing this really lightly because of how busy the GBF schedule was with just Unite and Fight and getting ready for Unite and Fight. And I'm just like, you know what, like that's uh that's for another time. Anyway, uh, short episode today. We're gonna go and talk about three characters. Only two came out, but I'm going to do something that's kind of a first,
Oh.
and we're going to go back into the list of characters and talk about a character that we previously covered. And this is a character that
Oh,
I
okay,
said
I know that one.
this is a character that I said was going to be sort of looking for the right context, and we found it. We found it. We found the right context for Light Gawain, where he just goes to red health and beats the ever-loving crap out of a dinosaur.
Oh man, Gawain was pretty good during this event.
He did so much damage. It was crazy. It was crazy. He did real. He did really well. He beat up the dinosaur. He was a pretty big part of a lot of people's like speed clears of 90 and 95. People phased him out for 100, but it's like we found the right context for him. It didn't even
Yeah,
require the team. It just
that's because 100 had way too much health to speed through.
yeah. So um, this is one of those things where we were looking through the kit, and I was like, he looks really good on paper. The question is where he'll be used. Like, is there a team for this? It's like it turns out you don't need the team for this. It turns out you just need the matchup and just need to do things fast. Gotta go fast. So anyway, um, is there anything that you wanted to say about Gawain, or you just good?
Not really. I didn't actually use them.
Yeah, I don't have Gawain, so I can't say anything about it. I did see a lot of Nicholas use this Unite and Fight, which was fun.
So
So
I actually had to stop using Nicholas because him getting in the robot took way more time than I thought it would.
I
Because
see.
he would usually get in the robot during the debuff clear, right before the debuff clear,
Oh
and
no.
then he triggered debuff clear, and I'm like, well,
All right. So let's go and just talk about the new characters. Pick which one we want to go first.
let's go with Mishra.
All right, Misha. So that's in the light section. Where'd she go? Misha, Feathernick. Where is she? We got too many characters.
Light
Uh,
staff, does that help you? Not really.
do, do. She's here somewhere. There it is. Found her. Okay. um, the first thing I'd like to point out about Misha, um, is that they've corrected a long-standing piece of um, old world building that is now obsolete, and they cut the back out of her dress. Have you ever looked at her SR version?
I'm looking at it right now. Yeah.
She was one of the first Arudes to come out. Period. It's like her, Kihar, Saruel, and all of them have backs on their costumes. For Saruel and now Mishra, this has been since fixed. One of my favorite little things. Let's see. Let's see if it's
Wait, I
there.
forget. Does Sebastian have a back on his costume or not?
Uh, his vest, I believe, does not have a back, or
Yeah, that
something
makes
like
sense.
that.
Yeah.
But the
Okay.
jacket it has a normal back. Let's see. Where are those? Is this birthday outfit? It is. Is the Saruel one here? It is. Saruel's is my favorite because he specifically is opening his jacket to point out that his shirt has no back. They were just like, we know, we know.
Look, lore building's hard when it's 7 years from later.
Yeah, because like he's wearing perfectly normal armor for his original SSR, and then for this one they're just like, "Yep, backless." It's so good, and by good I mean just hilarious in hindsight and foresight and all sorts of sight really. Anyway, let's talk about the character. Um, Light Staff. Staff isn't really a like you're used seeing fewer and fewer Ultima teams these days. Um, she's not really meant for anything other than buffing. So the specialty we're gonna ignore that for now. Um, her being a rune matters only slightly, but it is really cool because she's really good at hard content. Like this is a pretty unique set. I don't think there's anything like this in GBF right now.
Which parts?
The part where her buffs are just permanent and like there's no like oh yeah if you um so the example I'm thinking of is like Folia or the Folia style where it's like you put the buff on somebody and then you keep extending it by giving the character meter and then you can when the cooldown comes back up you can put it on another character you start rolling both of them and then like that's sort of the way that Folia and like Summerjawn work for example.
I think also SR Korra.
Mhm. Yeah, and that's the Korwa style. And Mishra here has no questions asked, just plain buff everybody, and by
Can't be
everybody I mean
removed.
one at a time, can't be removed, um, and 8 turn cooldown. So it's what turn 25 when you have this on all 4 characters in your party.
That's if you decide to keep. If you want Mishra still there.
Mhm. But I mean,
Otherwise, it turns 16.
oh yeah, if you intentionally get rid of Mishra somehow, like by night hounding her away or something, sure. But all right, let's look at the numbers because these buffs don't necessarily look that impressive because it's like oh, attack up, DATA, and then um, this is the special one where it's like damage cap up. Excuse me, hello.
Damage cap is 5%.
So the
Not
damage,
bad.
I mean, it's on top of other things. So how much is the attack, DJ? Are you looking?
30% perpetuity multiplier.
So it's the relatively unique multiplier, the one that they learned after a while. That's like putting things on the rage multiplier is very
Not great.
diluted. People don't notice that. All right, the DA should be what 100%,
100%.
and the triple attack. How much is that?
20%.
The triple attack's pretty solid, given that it's just permanent.
You always can have it.
Like this offensive buff, pretty neat. Like there's a lot of characters who can replicate this kind of thing, or like have parts of this baked in, but you're never going to turn up your nose at just 5% cap. However, fortification rune, this one's nuts. Like,
That
hello?
was. Oh my god. Alright, so I'm gonna list the numbers right now. 100% defense up. That's you. So you're effectively already having your damage.
And
Your
it's
damage.
permanent. It's permanent. Like having 50% permanent defense from having Kaim in the back is super noticeable. And this is 100% to a character. Okay, sure.
100% chance of 30% armor. So you're already taking adding another. What's the math on that? What's
So
30% of 50%?
30% of 50% is 15%. So you are taking 35% normal damage.
That's pretty good. Oh yeah, and then on top of this, let's add in 100% debuff resist.
It's 100%. You just it just happens.
So
Like
remember those times where people are like, man, Lucilia has put slash and all these other debuffs on me. This sucks. Well, also Light had ways around that, but now Light has another way around that.
well, yeah, I mean, you already had like Thief and you had Veil, multiple sources of Veil, things like that. Um, but debuff resistance being boosted to 100%, like there there have been SRs in the past who did this for a very short period of time, and they were fight breakers. Thanks, Jasmine.
Oh yeah, when you fought Fenrir,
hmm And so
because it didn't count against uh debuff resist. It counted against Veils.
Um, so yeah, like debuff resistance being 100%. Like there are some things that'll just say they go through it probably, but still being immune to just normal debuffs, that's really good. That's crazy good. I mean, it takes 24 turns, but even it doesn't take all 24 turns for it to be on your team. It's 24 turns to be on your entire team, and so you can just give this to your main character. You can give
Give
this.
it to the person who clears your debuffs.
You can give this. Yeah, you can give this to someone who has clarity, so that they don't get paralyzed against a freaking dinosaur.
Oh, you know this from experience.
Dude, it sucked so much when De La Fee or Lily were the one who got paralyzed by the T Rex. It sucked.
Paralyze also doesn't count down your timers.
Yeah.
Same with Sleep and Stone.
Yep. All right. So speaking of putting on the person who clears, though, let's go take a look at Recovery Rune.
Well, you restore a light ally's HP and removes all debuffs.
So it's single target again. So um, it's not going to keep your entire party alive against a lot of damage, but like 8 turn cooldown is a long time. But every single debuff going away is a powerful effect.
Light has a lot of HP.
Also true. And so
Sometimes healing for 7,000 is not even like a percentage of your health.
it does feel like this is a direction they're starting to go with more of the heals. By the way, so in the last couple years, being able to heal your entire team for 3,000 actually doesn't amount to anything. But with Katura and now with Mishra, they're just doing like high power focused heals. Because Katura heals 2 people for 12,000, but they're very specific people. And then this one just is a full heal. Like Sophia is has a full heal if they're
Only
at
you're
like
in red.
red health.
At
Anyway.
least Sophia doesn't revive anymore.
hmm But like, let's see. So her CA, by the way, provides Revitalize, and her Revitalize is actually really good. She has basically the best Revitalize in the game because so it heals for what, 700?
700. Standard's usually like 500 or 300.
Yes. And then with her passive that says boost a healing cap of allies with both of the runes on them, if they have both runes on, it's a
A
plus a
thousand.
thousand,
Yeah. If they
and
only have one, it's 500.
which is still, you know, a really good revitalize.
Yeah.
So yeah, really good character, really cool. I someday I'll roll her and they'll bring her to hard content, and it'll be really fun.
I like the icing of the cake is like a little bit of secret serum. It's just there. It's there to just enhance the revitalize.
It's 10% chaser. Yeah,
Yeah. There's a lot of bigger chaser numbers, let's be honest. But it's there. You might
it's
as well
there.
have it.
It's just every time that she CAs, it just happens to your team.
You also have a character, a 5-star character who revitalizes on a button. So
DLF.
okay, two characters. The one I was thinking of was Fumf.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to remember who had the revitalize in my team. I think it was De La Fee.
Yours is probably Daily.
Yeah, she revitalizes now. They updated her. There are so many versions that De La Fee has gone through that I have to refresh myself on how she currently works every once in a while.
It's there.
All right, so
Can I talk
random
about her weapon though?
random side note. Yeah, I was looking at her weapon. It's like, huh, staff resonance. So DJ, tell me about Gambentains.
I'm about to build my fourth one on pure coincidence.
How many of them do you actually still use?
0.
All right, good
Just
talk,
2 of them.
everybody.
I use 0 because the grids are too full. Hey, side games, can I get that update to make it like Reinhardt Fist, please? Thank you.
Hey, while we're doing that, can we also get Murglace to get that same treatment? Thanks.
I said that 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. All right. So, that's Mishra. Really cool character. Fun concept, and like strong without being super busted because of just the long build up time. Like if you bring a Keelan just to refresh her buffs, then sure, you cut 8 turns off. Or if you bring like
Woo!
Shitori, but like is this something that you really want to dedicate an entire full team to? Is like the trade-offs are significant and fun to think about. Like a fun character to theory craft with.
But I don't actually bring Arunes to my light team for Lucilius, so if I did, this be it.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. All right, let's move on to Zehek then.
Oh,
Zehek.
this point needed this.
So this is the funny thing. Like a lot of people were just like looking at this character on paper and going, "Man, why would I do this?" And then they actually started using this character and like, "Oh, this
Why?
character's good." All right, so he's a dark melee character, so just throw him into the pile. He just works with all of the fist things that you're already
Yeah.
doing. Dagger is actually a pretty um, good one to have in um, dark as well. I mean, he can go with Orchid. He can go with who else is a really good dagger character? Vania,
Uh,
Eustace, Tanya. Like
Anya. Yeah.
a lot of good fun characters. They don't necessarily have like a theme, but anyway, the point
Hey,
is,
you know what? He has a debuff, so
yeah,
that's pretty important
it
for
works.
for a dagger sword.
Yeah, for the dagger sword hollow sky. All right, so his CA cast the skill one. We've seen that a lot before. He gives himself drain. How big is his drain? Is it 1k?
Okay.
1k. All right. So he can drain for 1,000 a turn. This has got to be important. We'll come back to this one.
Yeah.
Um, so one of the things that people were looking at and going, this seems like a very significant drawback. Why would I do this? So he on his CA and on hitting skill one with a which has a very short cooldown,
Roll that on level 55.
he'll do 4 hits of I think it's like 140k each or so at maximum magic pulse.
Magic Portal says 140k each. Before that, it's 80k.
Yeah, so it's very little damage to start with. He does stacking minus defense minus attack, which is always good. This is always good, and then he does it to himself.
Why would you want to do it to yourself?
Well, we'll find out later. We'll come back to this. Like then he has a double dispel, and as Grand Sandalphon has been showing us, being able to dispel multiple things at once, really good ability when you're not Dark Sauron and the rest of your kit isn't crap. So
This is on turn cooldown, by the way.
this is on a what turn cooldown?
4 turn.
Yeah. 4 turn cooldown is relatively standard for dispels for the really good ones. Main character dispels around 4 or 5 turns as well. But he debuffs himself. Uh,
You want to do this? Say again.
why would you do this? Who would do this to themselves? So he gives himself minus. He gives himself blind, and he gives himself short, which led to a lot of jokes because he's 5'3". But let's keep moving. Let's keep moving.
It's in that order too, correct?
It's in that order.
That's
If he
yeah,
dispels
okay.
one buff, it goes to the blind, and then the second buff is the short. So yeah, like this comes with a pretty significant drawback, right? Why would you blind yourself for 3 turns and expect to actually hit something? Well,
Well,
we'll keep moving. We'll keep going. All right. So then we have a 5 turn undispellable debuff resistance boost and armor. So what are the numbers on these? Do you have them?
100% debuff resistance. Hey, look, and also 20% damage reduced.
5 turns of full debuff resist. Wait, what's the foe's max? What's the damage reduction again? You said,
20%.
and that's 100% chance of doing it.
It says it reduces 20%.
It's not okay. All right,
Not even armor. It's just reduced damage.
this thing is real good. And then all of these things where we said it's like, why would you do this to yourself? Well, when he's debuffed at the start of the turn, he gets rid of the one of them. That's the Sandalphon ability, like the irregular Sandalphon, and he gains a magic pulse. And so, what are his stat boosts at max magic pulses?
Let's start with one first because
Okay,
it all adds up together.
all right,
So at one pulse, he gets 8% attack up, 30% defense up, 20% DA up, 5% TA up, 10% damage up, 6% CA damage cap up, and he takes 400 every turn.
400.
Yeah, he takes 400 every turn.
Okay,
The damage taken stacks up to 100 each, so at max it's 800.
and with that 1,000 drain that he gives himself on CA, he's keeping afloat.
Oh yeah, 150% defense up is pretty cool. Not gonna lie.
So yeah, like that's the part where people go, "Oh, that's why he's good." So he just constantly feeds himself debuffs to eat. He eats them, and then like the dagger of mixed blessings, his beloved Mandau right here. So one, he will not die to DOTs, and he, for at the cost of 3 magic pulses, will be able to um just
Take a lethal hit.
take a lethal hit and live. And then so let's just say he's at 5 and he takes a lethal hit. He goes down to 2. Then you eat one of these debuffs and he's back up to 3 and he can eat another lethal hit. It's pretty good.
Yeah, and also the downsides of him having the stacking attack defense down.
Hmm.
Wherever at max, it's 150% defense. That 40% defense down is not gonna matter.
I mean,
And usually by the time you try to even stack that high, it's gone already.
hmm, yeah. So anyway, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. I wish I had him.
Yeah, I will definitely play with this kid once I do roll him. It's a like this is a very very old character, one of Granblue Fantasy's first. He's been around 7 years, and he's got a good version. This character's neat.
Oh, so they also on the wiki show the copy capabilities.
Hmm.
Only skill copyable.
Only Blade of Evil Seal can be copied.
Yeah.
I feel like I wouldn't want to copy Demon's Bane.
I mean, come on, you can get rid of more of the stacks.
Although copying Connotation Bestial, like you just wait 5 turns and then you just copy it, like you just depress nothing in those 5 turns. That would be that would be real dumb. Yeah, you're right.
10 turns instead of
5 out of 12, yeah.
yeah.
5 out of 12 is a number that we've seen a lot before, and it's still pretty good. Anyway, so that's that for the new character releases. They did not release a new summon. Um, I'm guessing that we're going to get one cryptid a month, so the next cryptid we get at the end of the month. But like, that's it. That's it for the week. We're done.
Will next week be the uncap for dog?
Okay, so the next week is the following. So today at some point, um, On-Ray trailer is scheduled for GB Versus.
Okay.
I don't know when that's going to come out, but at some point Fukuhara will come out of hiding and say, "This is the thing that I did in After Effects." The
Or
26th is going to be the dog, 5-star on caps. We'll have that to talk about next week. We have the event, the new story event. That's on the 29th. So
never
by
mind.
by the time we come back here, it will be about to start.
The preview.
Um, it'll be right at the start point. Um, let's see here. Chat asks guesses for next versus character. That we talked about in the Believe in Victory podcast with James Shaywell. I think like James has been asking people like Diaphone and me and like Ebonic Plague. We'll talk about that later. We're gonna find out in March anyway. I'm not too worried about figuring out who's gonna be the next VB versus character.
Usually they tease it at the end of trailers, don't they?
They usually do.
But not for
I
this
don't
one.
know if this one's going to happen because they said that they're gonna reveal that character for the anniversary
Yeah, that's right. And because we're only one more character left after Henri, right?
for this season. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that'll be it for the month. That's what we got.
Next week we get to talk about Dog.
We can talk about Dog. We can talk about goblins, probably, or whoever the new character is. That's going to be the new main character of the
Mini
story event.
Gobu.
What was that?
There's Mini Gobu. She gets to shine.
No, no, not Mini Govu. I have trauma with that character in Shadowverse.
Also, what's wrong with your random debuff?
Hey, that random debuff did really well for me back in the day. I used that character.
In the 15, early 2016.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. All right.
Yeah, I've made this mistake before, by the way. It's 6 characters for the season and not 5. I did that in Believe in Victory also. And Henri's number 4. There's going to be one in spring and one in summer.
Oh, okay.
But anyway,
Well,
we're going to find out the 5th one of the season on their anniversary stream. But like I said, I'm not worried about it. It'll come when it comes. All right. We're done. Enjoy.
yeah,
Short episode. Actually, short episode. Let's go watch sumo.
Yeah, that is going on. All right, let's do it.
All right.
Take
Good
care,
night,
everybody.
everybody. Take care.